I love when I can bring you some of my most amazing and fascinating friends in the More Project. So this week, say hi to Chintik. But this week, check out my good friend Sarah. Sarah is just an incredible angel of a musician. When you listen to her voice, you are transcended to a place where you don't feel like you have to worry ever again. She is a havening practitioner, and if you don't know what that is, you need to check it out. And she also studied psychology, so she kind of covers all of these beautiful bases. Having your own business, dealing with the mental stuff, also giving back as much as you can. So please, please, please check out my chat with Sarah.
But I'd love you to explain like who you are and what you do, and yeah.
Okay, who I
Who are you?
are, and I know my life is sort of like a mix of a few different things. I guess when I think about me and my passions, I've got two that are like equal. One is music and like singer songwriting. So it's more about, I guess, writing songs that are conducive to my own healing, but then like everyone's connected, collective healing. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
So it often feels like the songs are writing me, and it's just up to me to share them.
Yeah.
The other thing is what I call people stuff. I love it. It's just I've always had this affinity for picking up on feelings, energies, emotions. Like when I meet someone, it's funny because like I'll hear people's names and things, but what I'll be is like I'll be feeling like all these different things around what's going on, what they're like, what's going on underneath the surface, what's going on like just all that kind of stuff. Like I love knowing the ins and outs of all that kind of thing with people. And so where that sort of led me to is I work part-time as a psychologist and part-time as a havening practitioner, which is what we kind of talked about last time. And that's where the magic really happens.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so it's a psychosensory technique, which is looking at this touch involved, which I love because I think that touch is like up here in regards to like healing, a healing modality. Even without words or anything else, I feel like touch is like with a loving intention is just phenomenal. Yeah. So havening is aimed at it's called depotentiating, but basically loosening neurological pathways that are associated with trauma. So things in our lives that we've perceived in a way that, in a meaningful way, that distresses us. So, and it doesn't like when you say trauma, this is everyone. So it could be that. What was I thinking? I was thinking of one this morning in relation to me, which I want to haven. I interpreted. Oh, I went to the dentist years ago, and the dentist sent me. No, because my journey's been very much like invest into music, invest into the people stuff, invest into music. So I did my undergrad, and then I did full-time music, and I did, so I didn't just go, I'm going to do only psych or only people stuff, and just, I wanted to have balance, and I wanted to be balanced as well. So, and I pride myself on that. I love the fact that I haven't just slogged my guts out, ignoring any boundaries or self-care and self-love just to get to a certain place. Like I want the certain place because it's an expression of who I am and my gifts to the, being used in the world. But at the same time, I want it to be in a loving way for myself, because then I can better love others.
Yeah.
So I was at the dentist, and she said to me, she always just want to have a chat and like talk a little. And she said, oh, so I told her that I was doing my undergrad in psychology. And she said, oh, are you going to finish it this time? And I was like, what do you mean finish it this time? She goes, oh, you always start these things and don't finish them. And I was like, I'm such a finisher. I'm such a follow through to the end person when I've chosen to do something that, when I've decided to do it. So, and that really hurt. And I was just thinking this morning about how I feel like it's time for me to look at that meaning associated with that, because for me that was traumatic. And it impacted upon how I felt about myself from then on, because I started to doubt my ability to follow through, and I started to doubt if I was someone who had conviction, even though I definitely am, but it just
Yeah.
kind of out. So havening, I can go back to that memory when that happened and feel it out and feel all the things I associated with it, involve the touch, go through the process, and it actually delinks the neuron pathways that have been set up in the amygdala. So that when I go and think of it, I'm just like, oh yeah, I went to the dentist and she said something stupid, and like not be affected by it. And then from there, that should help to unravel anything after that I might have built on top of that. Like, I don't follow through. I'm not, passionate enough or whatever. That can all loosen itself as well. So, and yeah, havening is just like, I've studied a lot of different, as I think a lot of people who are watching this will probably be people who have been very self-aware, looked at things to work on themselves, tried different things that felt good or were of interest. So I'm that person, and I stumbled upon havening on that journey, and then tried it on myself, and I was like, well, this is awesome. And then studied it and did it with other people, and I was like, this is like super awesome. So I mean, it's hard, I guess, to exactly show what it looks like in practice, but that's
and that's the thing is, like, because I obviously had some havening done with you, and it was like I had no idea what was going to happen or what to expect, and like you said, like, touch with a loving intention is so powerful. And for me, like, I don't think I'd had just general, like, someone holding me, touching me with a loving intention for so long, and it was life-changing. And I think that it's definitely something that people should, like, it's something you don't hear about as much, and so I love talking about it because it's something that everyone should give it a go at some stage. What was there at any stage in your life, was there like a defining moment where you were kind of just doing the normal life stuff, and then you decided to do something more, do the like work that you do now, or were there many moments? I'm always just a bit curious.
The first thing that came to mind when you started to ask me that question was, I remember so clearly, I was 14 at school sitting in a gazebo, and at the time I had anorexia, and I remember thinking, if this is all there is, I want out. If this is the best that life can give me, I want out. And I heard this voice so loud say, and you'll know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And I was like, I just knew that meant you will know the truth about yourself and your worth and what that is, and that will be the key to everything. So that was a big defining moment for me, which I think probably spurred on the desire and the quest for understanding self, and rather than trying to, I was always very clear from a young age that I never wanted to do drugs or have alcohol or anything, because I'd look at it and go, that makes me less aware and less in tune with myself, less connected, so I don't want to do it. I want to feel everything. And so I've never sort of taken any antidepressants or anything like that, even though I've experienced high and extreme levels of depression, anxiety, and all those things. And another defining moment was when I worked full-time for Telstra on the phones. I was not a phone person at all, so that's one thing. I am not someone who enjoys being indoors all day, so that's another thing. There was no music happening whatsoever. It was completely I was struggling financially and it heightened my eating. My eating disorder stuff came out very strong when I was doing that. And I got to a point where I was just like, this is when I was like in my early 20s, like might have been 20. And I just went, hell no. Like that much time invested into something that was sucking energy from me rather than adding energy to me. And I just thought, and from then I was like, I need to find a way to be able to, because I like the idea of working and I like the idea of contributing in a way that's valuable and to be able to provide for yourself, but not at the expense of your health, not at the expense of your financial stability, not at the expense of your happiness, not at the expense of, like, I just wanted to hide from everyone. all the time.
Mm.
On my days I wasn't working, I'd just shut all my blinds at my home and just not want anyone. If someone knocked on the door, I wouldn't answer. And I'm like, so something. Yeah, and so then after that, I sort of went on this journey of trying to understand and figure out how I like to work, what suits me, how I could do something that would be sustaining long term, very long term thinking.
Yeah.
That's why the dentist really upset me, because I was like, I'm just haphazardly thinking about the now, and I'm like, no, I've been thinking about the long term, like ever since.
Yeah.
So it's just that I don't tell everyone necessarily unless you really know me. And you know me well, because we've talked about, like, we spend time talking, but a lot of people wouldn't know me that way. So unless you know me, you wouldn't know, you wouldn't understand that about me. Just
exactly. And it's so beautiful, like, to realize, you know, what you want to do, or at least be thinking about the long term, and thinking about things like alcohol and drugs and what their effects are at such a young age. I know for myself that running your own thing and figuring out how you want to work and all of that kind of stuff, it does require a lot of mental strength and physical strength. Of course, it requires a good health. Do you have a specific, like, health routine or ritual or anything that's your go-to to get you going?
I have many. It's so funny because they become a natural part of your life, you don't really think about them or appreciate yourself. Often, like, because when I say I haven't had drugs or alcohol, I have definitely had my fair share of bad habits or things that I know I'm using as a source
distraction
So I just wanted to make that clear to everyone. Like, I don't want you to look at me and think, oh, she never did drugs, she never did alcohol, like, she's so onto it, she knew what she was doing. It's that, yes, I was in that way, and I'm really glad, but there's other things that I've had my own version.
There's so many things we can become addicted to or distracted by. So
just uses quick fixes or whatever, but they've all got their place at certain times, and then we go, oh yeah, I've had enough of that, and find a way to move beyond. So I've got lots of different go-tos that I do. One is drinking lots of water. If I start feeling like I'm getting scattered or confused, or that not staying, allowing that energy to flow fully, I'll be like, right, I'm going to sit, I'm going to drink water. That's one. It's almost like it's a little, just clicks and goes, we're doing something focused now because we're sitting here and drinking this water. I also like drinking teas, like turmeric teas and stuff like that, if I need to do focused work where I'm sitting. Yoga, if I'm starting to feel like I've got to go faster and got to do more, I'll be like, right, this is where I need to do some yin yoga or even some vinyasa. Like, just the one thing I really don't feel like doing in that moment is to take it easy and slow down. I just want to snowball, feel like I've got to hurry up and get stuff done, but I know that's, for me, is when I need to not hurry up.
Not do that. Yeah.
And then things seem to happen so much more easily. And I also like running. Like, I like running when I feel like I'm a bit like I need to get, I need to get some movement happening or some momentum. I don't quite know how to do it except like we go for a run.
It's a great way to change a state.
Yeah, you can change the physical in some ways. That's all those kinds of things mixed into, like, I'm learning to trust myself more now to when to do what, because I used to have a set routine. I used to go running, I have 5 days a week where I went running, or I do yoga on this many days, whereas now I'm like, try to go with what I feel. And if I feel like I just want to lie in bed and not rush or not do anything specifically, then I will. And the other thing I do often is I'll check in with usually in the morning I do it. I'll go down to the beach and like just feel what I'm feeling and go, okay. And I'll actually haven myself and just let myself feel what I'm feeling. And I've noticed when I don't do that, like when I skip doing that or replace it with other things like running and yoga and don't do that, all of a sudden I'm like, why am I feeling so like pushed and squished and everything? So I know that for me, that's something that works really well.
Yeah, I would 100% agree on that, because I think as wonderful as running and yoga and all of those activities are, they can also become distractions as well. Like, we can become addicted to yoga, and we're like, cool, yoga is what fixes me, so I'm going to go to yoga and it's going to be better, or whatever it is. And really what, fixes you, I guess, or what helps with all of that stuff that can pile up is feeling it and being with it and giving yourself that time. So yeah, I love that. What do you like? Do you find that you have any limiting beliefs around what you're capable of, or any like challenges that you kind of place on yourself, or anything that gets in your own way, that you have to kind of overcome, or you have had to overcome in the past?
Yeah, well, a lot of mine has been to do around my health and and comparing myself to others. Like I have quite a few friends who are very health conscious and health aware and care about how they look and those types of things, and they appear to be so together with it and so onto it and so perfect at it. And sometimes I've thought, why can't I be as diligent, have as much willpower? Why can't I be as strong or as committed or determined as such and such or such and such? But as soon as I do that, I lose sight of everything I've done. And then if I actually stop and write, okay, let's look at all the things that you never used to do or that you did used to do now that you've changed. If you actually take the time to look at, to appreciate yourself and your own progress, you realize how far that you're the furthest along you've ever been.
Yeah.
And so now the next step of that. So, even something like I taught myself to like bananas. I hated bananas. I just thought, and so, like, even something as simple as that, like, I'm like, Sarah, you taught yourself to like bananas because you cared that much about your health and you hated them. So you just forget about all those things. We just focus on the things we want to change or wish that we were better at. So that's one thing, comparisons. And it's not like a harsh comparison towards them. It's usually a harsh self.
Yeah.
A harsh self comparison.
And that's actually quite interesting that you can differentiate that, that it's not them, it's something that it's picking up inside you. Because I think a lot of us, them would be like, oh, they're just amazing, or they've got this great life, and it's them, and I'm nothing, or whatever. They're just so much better than me. And it's like, well, it can't be striking a chord within us unless it's triggering something that I guess we know we're capable of, or we know that we resonate with, and if we can resonate with it, then we can have it, we can become it, we can let it go if it's negative. So I love to show the difference there.
And I've just stumbled across another technique which I sort of thought about before, but I'm doing it with more conviction now. It's anytime I catch myself feeling bad about a certain thing that I do or don't do, I'll actually take a moment and think about how I would like to do it or not do it, and see it play out in my mind like that, and then let it go. So whatever that happens to be, if it's whatever, I'll just be like, instead of getting all frustrated and sad that I've done it or that I'm thinking about it, I'll just be like, okay, well, how would I what if I was my ideal self and had no limitations and knew I could do it? How would that look? And I'd be like, it look like that.
Yeah. And I think that's so important to get ourselves into what it would look like and what it would feel like if we had the thing that we wanted, because we can't find it, we can't see it in the world if we don't know what it feels like. And if you've never experienced it, then you have to imagine what it would feel like. And that's part of why practices like meditation and sitting with your emotions and all of that are so important, and they can become fun because you can once you kind of work through the yucky stuff, you can be like, cool, now I'm going to sit here and what do I want to feel, what do I want to imagine, like what do I want to fantasize about that maybe I could create. I love that. Something that I know I've experienced, and I know most people who are working on their own stuff experiences a fair bit of failure. We know that we're kind of taught that it's a bad thing, but obviously anyone who's on the path to self-discovery, who's doing their own businesses or anything, knows that failure is just a given. So I'd love to know how you deal with failure.
Well, that's kind of like, I guess it ties into what we're just talking about. I don't know. Say, for example, I've decided I want to fast for a day because I just want to give my system a break and just let it clean out or whatever. And then I get so far and then I'm like, no, I just feel like not worrying about it, or like it's fine, like I don't, whatever. And then after I go, why didn't I just stick to my guns?
That was me yesterday.
Funny you talking about fasting, because I was thinking about that very thing. And so I'll sort of be like, well, at least you're one step closer. You started and you got like a fair chunk of the day, and that is a partial fast. So I'll look at what has been achieved, because sometimes we just say it's either here or nothing, whereas it's not. Like, even from a psychological perspective, most people quit something like smoking or whatever after many attempts of having tried, and that's all part of the process. So every time you do it, you either get more ammunition within yourself to go, right, I feel even more strongly about doing this, and something just happened one day where you're like, yeah, I'm done. But that's if you sort of move gracefully with it. If you berate yourself every time, that's where you keep. That's where I know with me, if I'm hard on myself about things, that's where I stay stuck. It's just like there's no room to move when you're pushing against something. There's no room for the flow or for the new, because you're just so focused on holding this energy.
On what's not working. Yeah. And I guess I know, like, part of, you know, getting up after failure and picking yourself back up again is you have to kind of know why you're even doing it in the first place, or what the purpose of it is for you. So what would you say is your why? Why do you keep getting up? Why do you do what you do? Whether it's music or pavening or anything.
Because it's so important to me. I know that when I'm my best version of myself, I'm the best version of like unconditional love to the world, and whatever it is I'm here on earth to give. And I don't know, like, it's not necessarily predetermined, but it's more just how I feel. Like, I want to I just want to feel each day that I'm aligned to my values and who I am as a person. So it's so important to me, and to have energy flowing in an unrestricted way, because when energy's flowing and you're aligned, such magical things happen, and it's like so easy, and it's like the best feeling. And that's what inspires me, because I love that feeling. I'm like addicted to that. I feel like that's what we're here for. It's like the ocean or nature or a breeze. It just is, and it's perfect. And that sort of thing is what keeps me. It's like I don't think I could switch it off if I tried, because at times I've wished I wasn't like this. But
a little bit. Like, why can't I just be normal?
Like, why can't I just not care about these things, or not pick up on these things so strongly? But because I know with sensitivity and awareness is such tremendous capacity for so many amazing things, especially love, which is everything. Sappy as that sounds, but
love it. And you probably already just answered it right there, but I like to ask everyone, like, because we all want more of things in our lives, whether it's for ourselves or for other people. And so I kind of named this whole project the More Project, because, you know, we all deserve more. We all feel like we shouldn't be able to ask for more. What would you want more of, either for yourself or for yourself?
I guess I'd probably say self-love, more self-love and more self-kindness, because I feel like when you have that flowing, everything else flows and opens up. And also I've always sort of known that whatever you have for yourself is what you can share with others. So you can't sort of give to other people in the way that we really want to, unless we do it for ourselves first. So more graciousness towards myself, self-kindness, and spaciousness around
Yeah. Creating that nice, light, fluffy energy you can share with the world. I love it.
Effortlessly, it's like it just rolls off you like.
Yeah. Awesome.
Thanks for tuning into my chat with Sarah. If you would like to find out more about what she does or get in touch with her, I've popped all her details in the comments of this video. Until then, see you next time. Be kind to one another.